Once again, DJ Hassan Thomas is here. I am Bazz. So, man, I'm glad that you finally stopped by, bro.
I'm happy to be here. It took a lot to get here. I had a lot going on this morning.
All right.
But I made it here. Hey, all thanks to God, the Most High. We in the building. We started premiere. We gonna get this show together. We're gonna start making it on a regular. We're gonna keep our Saturday nights going, and we're gonna make it into a real show.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. So first question is, brother, we want to know, how long have you actually been DJing?
I only been DJing as a professional, and I consider when I turned professional. I turned professional in '91, and that's the first time I ever got paid for a gig.
That counts.
So
that definitely counts.
So I turned professional in '91. So that's so I'm coming up on a little anniversary in about a couple of years. We're gonna see what we're gonna do for that. So to answer that question, I don't know the math on that. Since 1991, as a professional, 14 years old, as a hobby, I guess.
So how many places do you think have you been out of state? Have you DJ'd? More than, because first of all, where are you from?
Well, I was born in Mississippi, raised in Aurora. So I started school, moved to Aurora, started school. So I'm from Aurora, but I guess for the purpose of the world, this is a world radio show, so the world is listening.
That's right.
I'm right outside of Chicago. That's where I'm from.
Yeah, because most people, when they say Aurora, they mention Chicago. They say that's Chicago born. So you were raised in Aurora.
Yes, sir.
You've been DJing all around.
Yes, sir.
And would you say you have a favorite genre? Do you have a favorite artist?
Favorite hip hop favorite. I mean, hip hop birthed the whole thing for me. Like, I love soul music. Favorite artist, rapper, Rakim, hands down, no contest. Favorite rap. Favorite current, probably Lupe. It's a couple. What's my homie name? Corday, the new rapper.
Okay.
A lot of people don't hate up on him, but they got a young rapper that's brand new, and like he is nice, not just regular, not this kind of nice, but old school nice. Right. He can really flow.
All right. Also, my man is sitting over here too. We don't want to neglect DJ Hassan Thomas. DJ Hassan Thomas, where were you born and raised? Since my brother let me know there's a difference between you born and raised. Where were you born and raised at?
I was literally born in Aurora at the old Copley Hospital. So I am.
Oh, you made it.
Yes. And then I moved out to the south side of Chicago. So.
Now, we also know that you DJ, so I'm going to ask you the same question I asked DJ Khaaliq. What is your favorite genre, and what is it that drives you to do hip-hop?
I'd say my favorite genre would be hip-hop, probably followed behind funk and soul. I'm a huge turntablism fanatic, really. I'm really into the ones and twos, battle-style DJing, scratching, mixing, beat juggling. That's kind of what made me fall in love with it. That's where I kind of stay.
All right. Now get back to my man, DJ Khaaliq. DJ Khaaliq, now this question here, now everybody knows you love hip hop. Everybody knows that's your joint. But what is really about the music that makes you fall in love? What made you fall in love with music?
So I'm a firm believer that music, when it comes to us, and I'm talking black people, music is like almost innate. It's not just an entertainment thing. If you study the history of black people, a guitar is an instrument, but a doctor's scalpel, that's an instrument too. So we used to use music, rhythm, vibration, and all that for like healing purposes and stuff like that. So that's the overview. But what made me really like fall in love with hip hop, I had when I was a young man and I first moved to Aurora, my uncle's daughters, they were teenagers and they were my primary babysitters. You know what I'm saying?
Right. There wasn't no YMCA back then babysitting kids. Yeah.
So that was my primary babysitter. So anyway, just being around them, they listened to all the '70s soul classics. I mean, you name it, they was listening to it. They were young, they were vibrant. I fell in love with the music through them. Then hip hop hit. You know what I'm saying? And so it was like Sugar Hill and all that, and we was just hearing these records every now and then. It was coming out of New York and stuff like that. And I just started liking it and started digging it, and didn't just want to be, I had the love that was already instilled with me, but I wanted to be a part of what I was seeing. So we used to break dance, you know what I'm saying? But the DJing thing is how I first fell in love with just the act, one of the elements of hip hop. So it became that. But at the same time, I never ever wanted to be like party DJ.
Right.
So we had us a little group, and we thought we was gonna be like the Run DMC type. I was gonna be the Jam Master Jay type thing. So that's how I learned to love it.
Right.
Was just from doing it once I got into it. And we was doing it was a hobby thing. It wasn't nothing real. It wasn't about money, it wasn't about nothing. When I started, how I got into the party DJing is because I needed to get money for drum machines and keyboards and stuff like that. So what would happen is I'll throw a party, bro, I needed $800 to buy a drum machine. So I'll throw a party, and off of that, people started hiring me. But I never, ever I never wanted to do none of that. I just wanted to be a show DJ. That's it.
What people fail to realize is DJing you gotta have love for it, but you also gotta understand that this equipment is not cheap. Like when you're buying 1,200 turntables and people, and that's one thing we're gonna do with the show. We're gonna break it down more than just talking about the music. We're gonna talk about the aspect of DJing. We're gonna talk about the aspect of hip hop. Like my man DJ Hassan Thomas, I actually got to see his setup last night, and it's a beast, bro. It's like, I hope that's something that he put on. Once again, roughdraftradio.com is our website. Make sure you guys log on to roughdraftradio.com website and check it out. You can really get to know more than just about us. You can learn about all the DJs that's on Rough Draft Radio, and you can really see, get in tune, because it's a man behind the myth, as they would say. It's more to it than just a DJ showing up at a party and throwing a party. So now, DJ Khaaliq, when you at the party, man, and I know a lot of guys want to know this, how do you know what record to play, bro? Like, how do you know, like, you could throw something on, the next thing you know, you be like, man, they didn't dance. But how did you figure that out?
When you dealing with DJing, you're dealing with phases. So technically, I can teach you the mixer, I can teach you the turntables and the functionality. That's the technical side of it. The part you talk about is called programming. And when it comes to programming, that is the part of the game that can't be taught. I can teach you how to blend. I can teach you how to scratch. I can teach you how to cut. And right now, you can hop on YouTube and figure out how to DJ in about an hour session. You know what I'm saying? With the equipment is easier. The computer, you don't need the music. And that's the music, you can download everything. So that part of it is hard. The part that you're talking about, the programming, is the hardest part of it, because there's no scientific way to teach how to play what record at what time for what crowd.
Right.
So my formula is when I start off, it's the early night. Ain't nobody really looking to dance. They're really looking to drink. They're getting settled in. They getting, you know what I'm saying? They seeing what chick they gonna talk to. They doing all that. Right. So while that's going on, I'm looking at the room and I'm playing a variety thing. I might play a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but I'm looking for the head nods, right? So when I see the head nods, I say, okay, I'm getting 4 nods to this, but I got 10 nods on this song. So this telling me, okay. So let's just say, hypothetically, it's whatever, crunk music, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if I see a couple, I say, okay, this is a crunk crowd. I see where y'all at now, right? So I'll hit them with a bunch of them. But the beginning, the first few songs, once you got them, I can play Mary Had a Little Lamb at that point. All I got to do is, you know what I'm saying? So my formula, I'm talking about me, nobody else. My formula is I play. If I can have 15 successful records, I can do whatever after that.
Right. See, that's one thing a lot of people don't understand. It's just more than you going in there, setting up a laptop and, setting now people use controllers. We from the old school where you actually had to carry your turntables. You actually had to carry a mixer. You had to carry a backup mixer. I mean, last night, once again, at DJ Hassan Thomas' place of residence, we were over there and just looking at all the extra equipment that's not even used. So DJ Hassan Thomas, like, for you, how do you get the crowd moving? What do you use? What's formula? Let us on the insight.
I'm in the same realms as Keevin. I people watch. I see what the last song did to certain people, and I end up playing towards those people because, you can kind of tell where the energy's coming from, the people who are going to keep the crowd involved, the ones who like to dance, and they're usually the ones that you play to because everybody wants to follow in and see why they're having so much fun. So it takes a lot of you people watching, seeing what's going on, and then, your last song should dictate what the next song is by what the response that you got. So, and at that point, like Keevin said, to his point, once you have them at a certain point, you could play anything once you got them locked in. But at the same time, it's very difficult to keep a room of 100 people happy. there's a lot of different, variables going on there. There's people who don't like this, people who like that, people who want up tempo, people who want slow tempo. But at the same time, you're only trying to play for maybe 30 to 40%. That's all you're going to get anyway.
Right.
The rest of them are going to kind of join in just based on what everyone else is doing.
Right.
But at the same time, you're never going to make everyone happy. At this point, I even think Keevin is the same way too. We don't try to, we try to at least get, 25, 30%, because that's really all you can shoot for most of the time.
Well, I know one thing that DJ Khaaliq always preaches to me is a lot of DJs play out their head. This is one of the things that I notice you don't do.
Mistake number one, because first of all, it's no different than a chef trying to make a business serving only the food he likes.
Right.
That's what you're doing. When you playing out of your head, that's what you're doing. So, excuse me. So that's mistake number one. Secondly, the reason that's a big mistake is because most of the time, DJs, just like a chef, have a rich taste for music.
Right.
So I'll tell you my favorite, whatever genre, disco song right now, 90% of the people listen to it don't even know that song.
Okay,
You see what I'm saying? Because we don't, when you got a rich flavor, when you got a rich taste for flavor, you don't just like salt. You know what I'm saying? You don't just like pepper. See, those are the popular flavors. So that's just like, everybody know Marvin Gaye's Sexual Healing. You know what I'm saying? If you want to do like that. But the real thing is, I'll be on the album, and I'll listen to track 3 on that same album that don't nobody like, but that's my joint. So when you plan out your head, what you're doing is you're really moving towards, how can I say? You're really moving towards catering to a small percentage of people.
Right.
Now, if all you want to do is play the songs that you like, you can make a business out of that. You just got to find those people that like that. But it's without the fact that pop music is more well known than whatever, like some small genre.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like
so that's what
Indian music.
Exactly. Or whatever it is. But the point I'm trying to make is, when you play it out of your head, then all you limit your ability and your marketability by doing that. But if you play on a broad scale, and I don't mean don't sacrifice nothing you believe in, whatever like this. But when you play on a broader scale and you play for the people, you make yourself more marketable. And but that's with anything. Like I said, that's why I made the analogy of a chef. But in anything, if you're a mechanic and you only put in air valves,
right.
So you limit yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the one thing that I like that's happening with Rough Draft Radio. The station is going to be playing music. Now, I hope you guys have been checking this out, but make sure you log on to the website. That's roughdraftradio.com, and you can really check it out. But we play the music that's the B side of the music. We're not going to play the most popular, ones that you might think but we're going to play the hits. We're going to play the ones that you listen to that don't get radio play, I should say. The ones that they just won't play on the air because they, for some strange reason, they just not playing it. I don't know why. And why you think that is, DJ Hassan Thomas? Like a lot of, which is good for Rough Draft Radio, but which is bad for a lot of people because they really don't understand that this artist has more than just, that one song that's radio, airplay, wise.
When you play out of your head, you're isolating the situation. Most of the time, and he could tell you too, that I get up there and I play for nothing for myself. I don't get a chance to play the songs that I want to play when I DJ. That's kind of why I started the station, because I wanted to play music that I like and stuff that I listen to, and also a shuttle and a vehicle for myself and others to be heard in the format that they want to put out. When you're playing out in the club, you're playing to the masses, and that comes back to what? Pop music, popular music. Pop is the beginning of popular. There's a reason why that rotation keeps it going, is because they play the same repetitive tracks that keep stuff in that pop realm, and you kind of got to go back and forth. You could play a couple of tracks in there that you might care for, but you still got to go back and forth to what's popping and kind of going.
Yeah, that's a good point. And one thing I like about DJ Khaaliq, now he has a bunch of mixtapes. Like a lot of guys, my man throw down on the mixtapes. And one thing I wanted to ask you, brother, is you come in with a country song, with a rock song, sometimes it could be a jazz melody, but you make it hip hop. And I think people really don't understand what the definition of, in your opinion, what is the definition of hip hop? Because you make that flow.
The same energy that started hip hop is the same energy that started jazz. It's the same energy that started swing, blues. It's the same energy that had us chopping, in the cotton fields, what they call nowadays old, what I'm saying, Negro spirituals or what like that. But at the end of the day, what was happening is, if you call it soul music, you call it hip hop, or you call it Negro spirituals, it's the same exact energy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if that makes sense, I don't know if that makes sense. So it's really the essence and the soul of us. Now, secondly, to answer that question, I don't believe there are genres. I think genres is a marketing ploy. So people have to say, if you take this song and you play this beat this way and you play the guitar that way,
right,
then we call that that's called hip hop. But that's only a marketing ploy, because the only difference between rock and blues is it's sped up a little bit. If you take blues and you speed it up some, then they call it rock. Right. So that's not a genre. You know what I'm saying? There are no genres, really. The origins of all music is, we invented it. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So if I'm, just hypothetically, if I'm Muddy Waters and I play the guitar, whatever, and then Chuck Berry come along and he speed it up a little bit, he don't call that rock. It's the same thing. It's just a different tempo. So that's how all music is to me. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
So the meaning of hip hop, in short, is it's just soul music. That's it. It's music. It's the music that's birthed from us, and it's what we true to. And so it don't matter what the genre is called. It's the way I play it. So I can start off with a Kenny Rogers song. I done started a joint with a Kenny Rogers song. I put Queen in my joints. I done put rock. We with Dollar Bill last night. He playing rock. He played a whole
Shout out to Dollar Bill. Shout out
Dollar Bill. He played a whole rock set last night. You know what I'm saying? And I'm in there bobbing like I'm bobbing if it was Most Def.
Right. My man was cutting what's I can't even think of their name. He was cutting it hardcore. Fleet.
Man, he played Pink Floyd. He played Queen. He played Talking, they made all the rock joints, the 80s rock, that big sound like
the
Mavis
big
Martin.
hair, the big sound.
That when we was listening to Run DMC, our little Burnout friends was listening to REO Speedwagon. But they were still hits though.
And the thing about it is, when he was doing that, he was going back and forth with the Ron DMC, with the Eric B. and Rakim, with the Joe-Ski Love.
Oh yeah. And
I think that's what a lot of people fail to realize. Hip hop is not just an African American or you might say a black thing. Hip hop is universal, and I think that's one thing about Rough Draft Radio. Rough Draft Radio, as DJ Khaaliq emphasized earlier, it's worldwide. This is just not in the United States or in your surrounding. Like, you can drive from Wisconsin to Illinois and you can't hear Wisconsin stations, or you can go from Illinois to Indiana and you can't hear GCI. But right here at Rough Draft Radio, you can be in Switzerland. Yes, you can be in England. Yes, you could be in Australia. You can be in Hawaii, and you can take us with us. And the one thing about it, DJ Khaaliq mixes, all you have to do is turn on Rough Draft Radio, and sooner or later, Saturday nights, 8 to 10 is when our show is, but we're going to be doing this release party where we're going to be debuting his new mixtapes. Bro, I'm so excited about this because the streets been waiting, man. You've been procrastinating. You've been just, I can't even understand what you took so long, but I'm not even going to go there. What we're going to do is just get into some more music on Rough Draft Radio. We're going to come back and holler at you, because I still do want to ask my man. You guys realize that my man is a Steelers fan, but we ain't going to talk about that right now. But we're going to get into some more questions to him about what's going on with his music and his lifestyle. And all right, we back live, Rough Draft Radio in the house. My man DJ Hassan Thomas, the man of the hour, DJ Khaaliq. That's right, DJ Khaaliq. I'm sure a lot of people want to know, besides the fact that you're a good DJ, let's get into this. How did you come up with the name DJ Khaaliq? Where did that come from, bro?
It started out as for the whole crew, and it was Khaaliq Productions, and I just selected that name. It's one of the 99 attributes of Allah, but we were coming from the creative point. Mm-hmm. So from the creative point, I thought, what a better name than a creator. But with it being one of the attributes of Allah, Allah is the all creator. He created all, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that's Al Khaaliq. So just the term Khaaliq just mean one who creates something out of nothing. And we didn't, my attitude is I wasn't taking no loans. I didn't want to, the drug dealers was trying to give us money, all that stuff. Nope. We gonna strap our boots on. We gonna build this thing out of absolutely nothing. So that's how it started. It was Khaaliq production. It was me and Gary Cooper, rest in peace, Troop IDC.
Troop.
Yep. So we started like real simple. He was DJing, things like that. So anyway, when we was the production team, and we had a bunch of rappers with us, and we did that for a few years.
Right.
Things fell away like this, and the name stayed with me. You know what I'm saying? So even after, if you ever pay attention to my first flyers and stuff after the breakup with the crew, my first flyers would say music by Khaaliq.
Right.
Like, that's what it would say, because it was Khaaliq Productions, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It would say music performed by Khaaliq. And at that time we had XL was with us, he was DJing, it was three of us. So
shout out to XL.
Shout out Xavier Lamont. So as we move forward, when the little, I don't call it a fallout, you know what I'm saying, elevation causes separation, and sometimes people just fall apart.
Right.
So for the first few years, I just kept Khaaliq. I kept Khaaliq because I kept the banner, the brand. So if you look at my first mixtapes, it don't say DJ Khaaliq. It just says Khaaliq for about the first 3-4 mixtapes. And that was the banner. And then at a certain point, I was like, hey, if I'm the only one going to keep it alive.
Right.
So I started just using the term DJ Khaaliq. You know what I'm saying? But that term, it just simply means one who creates something out of nothing. And I waved the flag for it, you know what I'm saying? Everybody that's ever been a member of it, they still ride with me spiritually, you know what I'm saying? Because we just carried it forward, you know what I'm saying? It's just, sometimes it's 12 people pushing the boat, sometimes it's somebody paddling by themselves, you know what I'm saying? As long as the boat keep moving.
Now the thing about it too with DJ Khaaliq, and I remember back in the day when it first started, and a lot of people don't know is Troop wasn't black.
Well, he was half original.
Right, he was half original. And what people don't understand is, and I'm going to a bigger point is, but the man was so in tune with the music. And that's, to me, that's what hip hop was.
Oh, he was gifted. So before Troop, there was, I used to call myself Chaotic K. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was my original DJ name. So me, Yaya, and my brother Trevor, we was a rap trio, you know what I'm saying? So once I met Troop, I was already like scrambling with the beats with little rinky dink, little keyboards and stuff like this. But once I got with Troop, he had a real sampler, you know what I'm saying? Real sampler, you know what I'm saying? So I started jumping on that boy, and I started just getting out, and I started sounding like everybody that was going at that time, like, you know what I'm saying, the Dr. Dre's and, all the, Primo and all the producers back then. So I was like, I said, okay, but I had to get the equipment they had. So that's why I'm real into like, go on, get what you got to get and get it over with. You know what I'm saying? If it costs you $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, that's what you need to sound out. Because I never wanted to be local. I never even wanted to be global. I wanted to be universal. You know, that name Khaaliq is a universal name. So if I'm gonna compete with Dr. Dre, I didn't look at the local rappers and say, I just want to beat them. No, I wanted to sound like, you know what I'm saying, EPMD. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So, and that's what we started doing. But when Troop came into it, Troop kind of made it, he kind of put it on like a professional level, because he could actually play. He could read notes. He knew music. I just knew how to hammer them boom, boom, boom. I could put the boom back together. You know what I'm saying? So as a production team, like we got I still got a lot of our tracks though. We got some cold beats. Like I was letting Hashim hear a beat a couple weeks ago. He's like, man, why y'all ain't never do nothing with that? I said, man, that beat like 20-some years old. You know what I'm saying? But that's what it was with Troop. Troop gave me that element that made me a professional.
Now, DJ Hassan Thomas, and I'm gonna send this out to you too, brother. You've been in the game a long time, brother. You've been doing your thing. So I want to know with you, like on the music side, we know, kind of how you get into it, but you also was making beats back in the day, so are you still into that? Are you strictly DJing, or what do you want to do as far as what's going on?
I haven't made any beats probably in like 5 or 6 years. It's been a minute. I still have all the equipment to do it. I think just time and motivation kind of got in the way with that. And I just went a different direction. You know, I really started going into broadcasting, you know, being a live DJ, playing out more. And then another side of it is that I'm split. I'm divided. I'm also an executive chef. So that takes up a great deal of my time with food and cooking. So that kind of took away from what I really wanted to do as far as with DJing, mainly because I couldn't put this into the forefront to make the money that I needed to provide for the family. So it had to take a back seat. And, you know, when you pick up more things, something's going to have to suffer or take less for you to be able to still be able to accomplish that. So that kind of put me in the realm where I slowed down with the production. But I still DJ for the Highest Low. They're a local group from Aurora. They put on some really good stuff. They just had an album come out. I still do live stuff for them. But yeah, I would really like to get back into making beats. It's just time and motivation, really.
I feel you, bro. Now, one thing I wanted to say about DJ Khaaliq is this man can run anything from, like he spoke up briefly about a drum machine, to the man has been teaching me. I have probably, they tease me, both him and DJ Hassan. I have like a $20,000 laptop, and all I can do is send emails. They
$40,000 laptop.
They were just teasing me about it. But this man is see, one thing about it that this brother, you guys need to understand, is he is self-taught. He is self-taught how to. The man is a master barber too. We'll get into that another time. But the man is a master barber. The man is a master production. The man can we're in MPAC Studios right now down here on 35th Street in Chicago, and the man has done built a studio, a booth, and I mean the man know how to any program, Logic, Pro Tools, I mean anything you can think of, the man can run it. So the question is, how did you get this ability without actually going to an engineering school, a broadcasting school? I know you personally. You didn't do none of that. So,
No.
So the only thing I think you can't do is electrician work, but I kind of think you can do that too.
What you mean? I just won't mess with the box though. It's too much juice. And I can run tripwires. I can run relay switches. What you mean?
So explain to the people why, when people say, "Man, I can't do that," you show me every day you can.
I did not have an answer to you said that last sentence. The answer to that question is because I don't think I can't do nothing.
Right.
So words formulate and form and shape things. So everything you see from a high rise to roads to a traffic light to a computer, everything you see was a thought.
Right.
That started with a word. You see what I'm saying? Even the sun and the universe, same thing. It's all thought. So that's something they teach. You know, I'm a Muslim, so they teach you that. So even before that, I would see something, I'd be like, I can figure that out. So a lot of people make it more complicated. When I played football, my coach said this all the time. He said, I'd rather coach a kid that's coachable and has no skill than a kid that has skill that I can't coach.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that's the thing about it. So like my skill set really comes from one source, one number one source, other than the fact I think I can do whatever. I don't have no money. You see what I'm saying? So if I could pay somebody to dictate and put together a bio for me, then I would have paid them to do it. But because I didn't pay them to do it, I said, you know what? I had to figure out how to do it myself. So I had to learn Word. I had to learn all that. Most people think I'm a computer master. I really can't even type. I'll just be like pecking at it like this. But you got to believe first and foremost that you can do whatever. So like,
I feel you. So
I don't say can't. You know what I'm saying? Cannot is, you can't wear a name like Khaaliq, which means creator, and then say you can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I can do crafts, I can do woods, I can work on cars, I can do that. And that just come from my background, just growing up, you know, my grandfather, my stepfather, you know what I'm saying? When we were shorties, they didn't let you be lazy, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you had to learn how to do something. So even when I didn't have DJ equipment and all that, I got a 1200 in my basement right now that I pulled out of a garbage can. And it took me about a year to fix it, but I rewired it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Off of just like
So
this
you
wire
dumpster diving on the 1200.
Yeah, and I still got it. It's running. It's in my basement right now. I use it right now. You know what I'm saying? And I pulled it out of the garbage like in like '89. You know what I'm saying? Because I couldn't afford 1200. You know what I'm saying? I knew people that had them.
Now, can you explain to the people? See, people hear 1200. Can you explain to most people that you know that's really don't understand? Because you know this new people right now just know about controllers.
Yes,
You're gonna
sir,
get one
yes,
for
sir.
$300. What is a 1200?
A Technique 1200 is probably, I wouldn't say it's the best. Best is subjective. It's probably the most universally widely used turntable. But it's how can I say? It's like they're turntables that do certain things better. But as far as the movement, the quartz movement in it, it's probably more precise than any other turntable. You know what I'm saying? So that's what made it legendary. So, like at the time I was DJing, if you ain't had no 12s, you wasn't on nothing.
But see, what people don't fail to realize is how much is a 1200?
Oh,
Back then or nowadays?
Yeah, I was going to
Well,
say.
let's go now. See, we going back then when we
Well,
were trying to start DJing.
back then. So at that time, I had one of my. I guess I won't say mentor. We was the same age, but one of my buddies, he had a set of 12s. His mom had bought him a set of 12s, the case and the mixer. And at that time, they had paid like $1,300 for it for the whole set. You know what I'm saying?
So you talking about $1,300,
in 86.
and you really don't know how to mix or scratch or blend or whatever, and you got to learn.
Yeah, you all that. But if you had them boys that made, see, you had say they had the slide pitch on them.
Right.
The other ones had the little rotator pitch, so it just made the job easier. But that taught me something that I use right now. So the difference between, like when I do the media, the difference between a $200 camera and a $2,000 camera is the $2,000 camera makes it easier for you to do it.
Right.
You can do it with the $200 camera, but you need to know more about the camera. You know what I'm saying? So everything is like that. Excuse me. So, but that's what the skill set, man. Like I tell people all the time, you can do anything. People tell me, well, I couldn't do this because of that. You couldn't do it because you said you couldn't.
Right.
That's why you couldn't do it. Everything after I can't is irrelevant.
Right.
As soon as you say I can't, that formulates your mindset. We don't like people. We live on such a low level that we don't really understand. People are magnificent. You know what I'm saying? And like just in your natural creation, untapped and untouched, and if nobody hampers that,
Right.
you got infinite potential. Like I mean, that infinite. Like you can't tell me anything that Steve Jobs do, any fourth grader could do. They got the same brain
There you go.
capability. You know what I'm saying? It's the same brain capability. He just had the will to do it.
Now we're gonna get into this will to do it because see, people don't understand. Back when we was growing up, $1,300 for somebody's mom that's only making $500 a week is a lot of money.
I'll give you a comparison. My mom bought a house in '83. That set of 12s was about 3-4 months mortgage.
And how many pairs of 12s do you have, DJ Khaaliq?
I got 3.
DJ Hassan Thomas, how many pair of 12s?
3.
So we looking at what we saying, and that's not. Wait a minute. See what people don't even fail to realize. That's not including the mixer.
Oh no, and I'm gonna tell you something right now. So now the price of all this stuff is astronomical.
Right. See, people don't understand because you have to buy the 12. They don't come with the needles. See, that's another thing.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't come with the needles. Then you're gonna need
And needles are expensive now.
Then you need the mixer. Then after that, when you get all said and done, you're gonna be like, for me to even do a party so I can make some money. Oh yeah, I got to go get some speakers.
Yeah.
I got to get a subwoofer.
Now to that point and back to my point. But if you got enough skills, you can get the same job done with about $200 worth of equipment.
See, there you go.
If you got the will to get the job done, you can get it done with $300, $400, $500 worth of equipment.
And the
I
reason
can get
why-
the job done with a cell phone.
Okay.
I can get the job done. I could literally take 2 cell phones and get the job done. I promise you.
See,
I
that's why his
But
name
you
is
gotta have the will.
That's why his name is DJ Khaaliq right here on Rough
It
Draft
goes back
Radio.
to, like he said, though, it's with programming, though. because he understands what needs to be played. It don't matter whatever source he has to play it on, he still gonna get it out.
Listen, for real. if you understand the program, I'm gonna take away from all that. Technically, I'm one of the worst DJs out. Technically,
I love when you say that.
Technically, I'm trash. Technically,
Lying.
no, technically I am. Technically, my beats be off. Don't nobody know it though. see, technically, I cannot tell you the name of 85% of the songs I play because I got a bad memory.
Right.
What I learned to do is make up for my shortcomings. You see what I'm saying?
I say that, wait a minute. See, people need to understand this. The man just said he is trash technically. But what he did, see, what you guys going to fail to realize, you have to know your shortcomings to do what, brother?
To have success. So Bill, technically, it ain't a DJ in the city that can fade him. Nobody. He can go.
Yeah, DJ Dollar Bill
can go. So when I say technically, I'm talking about beat mixing, beats, scratching, you know what I'm saying, keeping the beats on time like that. That's what I mean technically. Now, programming, they can't see me. I like so I make up in programming what I lack in tech on the technical side. So what I do is I scan the crowd. When other DJs playing, I'll be like, he should have played that. He should have played that. While I'm critiquing they set mentally. I ain't gonna tell them that. I'm not trying to throw their thing off, but mentally I'm critiquing.
You're using that for yourself,
and I'm telling myself what I would have did with that. You know what I'm saying?
That's where it's
the
at.
Same way a football team scout another football team before they play that team. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and another point to what you're saying about how I do everything. Everything structurally is the same. There's no difference between constructing a house or a beat. If you constructing a house, the concrete slab is your foundation. If you constructing a beat, the foundation is the baseline. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So technically, and I see things in that manner, but that's so I don't know. Like I tell people all the time, man, when they be like, "Oh man, you got off, you did your thing." I be like, "I tried," because humbly, I know to myself, I know I made 78 mistakes tonight when I was playing. You just don't know I made them.
See, that's what I'm talking about. And I guess I wanted to go off on that just to let people know the drive that you have to be, because a lot of people say I'm a DJ. I'm a DJ. With DJ Hassan Thomas, he did a thing for Aurora, and a lot of people were coming up to him. I can DJ. I can do this. So when you hear that kind of stuff, DJ Hassan Thomas, people don't understand the drive that it takes to do that, right?
Yeah, I mean, and I think anyone can DJ, and you can teach anyone to DJ, but it all goes back to like what Keevin said with the programming side of things. Those are things that aren't taught, and it's a talent you either have or you don't. And a lot of times there are a lot of trash DJs out there that understand programming, and they get away with murder basically because they understand programming.
Right.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of DJs out of there that they suck technically. And they suck as far as programming. But you know what they can do?
What they can do?
They can put 200 people in the building.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So if I'm technically better than you, and I come in on a Friday night and I'm playing my butt off and I'm sharp as a tack. I'm doing this. I'm dropping all the cutting, scratching, all that. But it's only 50 people in the building. Then you come in on Saturday night and you technically trash, but you got 200 people with you. The bar owner gonna call you back. You see what I'm saying? So and a lot of people don't get that side of the thing.
But you know what that is, excuse me. You know what that is. That's marketing. Well, that's one thing. That's branding. And that's something that you have been doing lately. And you've been doing it for the past 15 years. I mean, the way that you have, like you said, how you explained how DJ Khaaliq came about, how the whole Khaaliq thing came about. And now you've taken it to another level. So that's why we're really waiting on this mixtape, because you got a lot of people, bro, that's been waiting on you to release these mixtapes, and I'm just gonna tell you, you've been playing games, but we ain't gonna talk about that. So what we gonna talk about right now?
Can I defend myself? Let me defend myself.
Okay, go ahead.
Very briefly. I have had a mixtape that I've been working on for 5 years. First and foremost, I apologize.
Dr. Dre.
Oh, hey, hold on. First of all, that's 20 years old almost. The Chronic, Detox, we've been waiting on that for 20 years. So for 5 years, I've had a DJ. So the mixtape, actually, DJ T-Bone, He'd listen to the tape. I had him listen to it and critique it about 5 years ago. So I was 80% done with it 5 years ago. Problem is, I started another business in the process, and then I got away from it. So I apologize to the streets. You know,
I mean, you know, it is what it is. I mean, but you know, like I said, you defended yourself well. I mean,
no, hold on.
Excuses. That's what we.
No.
DJ Sign Thomas.
Ain't no excuse. No excuses. I'll make no excuses.
I don't want to talk about it. I've been upset about it.
So what I'm saying is this: to make up, because I'm loyal to the people that's loyal to me.
Okay.
So to make up for that, what I've done is I've decided I'm gonna drop 5 mixtapes first, then I'm gonna drop that out. So if you take the 5 years it took me to produce this CD, most people come out with, they come out with one, they come out with an album a year or something like that.
Right.
So I'm gonna drop 5 years worth of stuff in about a month and a half as an apology to the people.
Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait to see these mixtapes, because I mean the brother has been 5 years. These should be spectacular. So we really looking forward to this. I mean, man, we really appreciate you, sitting down with us. The one thing about it that you guys really don't realize, we giving DJ Khaaliq a hard time, but the man is the hardest working man besides P. Diddy. The man don't sleep.
Oh man, that man can't. That man, I caught him sleeping one time.
Sleep is, and my man's famous saying is, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and steal this from him. Sleep is for the dead.
Hey, I sleep when I die. I tell everybody that. You sleep when you die. Hey, you gonna die and be dead for trillions of years. You can sleep there.
I think he told me. I know for a fact he's probably tell DJ Sign Thomas is. He tell me that all the time. Like, bro, you sleep. That's the first thing. The DJ Sign Thomas, when he called you and you kind of be groggy, you sleep. That's what DJ Khaaliq tell you. Are you sleep? And then you just look like, yeah, bro. I'm trying to. I work jobs too, bro.
He don't believe in sleep. That's the problem.
And
I believe you don't need much. Very little.
Like last night, we were coming back from somewhere and we were going to check out DJ Sign Thomas, and the man slept, I swear, for like 20 minutes in the car, and next thing you know, he woke up like he just had like 8 hours. Like, okay, I'm ready to go.
That's all.
It's not normal.
That's not. I mean,
wait. Okay, can we say something about normal? Normal is subjective.
I'll give you that.
Normal. So it's not normal to grow up without a father. I mean, it's normal to grow up without a father, but it's not what's supposed to happen. You see what I'm saying? So I'll just say, if you sleep for 8 hours a day, you will have slept 1/3 of your life.
I feel you. Now, one thing I also want to do too is, my man spoke on something real quick, and we're not going to talk on it a lot this time, but next week we'll probably get into it more. Branding is important, and my man has started, like he started off, like you said, DJing as a high school kid. He moved on and he taught himself how to become a master barber. This is what I just said. He self-taught himself how to become a master barber. And then from there, he's parlayed that into other different genres. But also now he's doing something, him and DJ Sign Thomas, called MPAC Media. And I want you guys, if you got time, just Google it. It's black owned. They're black sufficient. They don't have no loans. They do it all. It's a media company. And if you know what the word media means, they do it all. And we're right now in the studios broadcasting live with my man, the mechanic. He's taking care of all the cameras. I mean, my man got the light on us. He's got 3 cameras and he's doing his thing. But this is something that we want everybody to understand, that DJ Khaaliq is telling you, if you have the drive, you ain't got to know nothing. You just got to have the drive. You got to have the willingness, right, DJ Khaaliq, to go ahead and study.
You ain't even got to study it. There's a saying amongst businessmen, you only have to have 50% know-how. That's it. So the well-oiled machine that is McDonald's right now did not look like that the day they started.
Nah.
And guess what? The way it look now, it won't look in 10 years. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I tell everybody. Starting a business is just like cleaning out your closet.
Right.
You can sit there and say, well, maybe I'll start on the floor. No, let's start with the shelves. Maybe I'll fold some clothes. But just start. And as you start the process, you will eventually get to the shelves. You'll eventually get to the floor. Just start the process.
Right. And that's one thing that we want you guys to understand, that what you see here is this man right here has been doing this for a while. He's been spinning records, but not only spinning records, he's been dropping dimes, he's been dropping jewels, and just letting you guys know. Like I said, we joke with him a lot, me and DJ Hassan Thomas, but to me, sleep is for the dead. This brother's been by my side since we was young kids, so I seen this man in action. I seen this man on the turntables. I seen him watch people, and he treats people all the same way. So that's one thing about him. His name is not bad out there in the streets, except for the fact that he's taken 5 years of dropping mid. But we ain't gonna talk about that no more. But basically, he's still doing who he is as far as the DJ aspect of what's going on in his life. Right now, we're gonna get back into some music at roughdraftradio.com. Once, like I said, sorry for the bumps, sorry for the little falls, but I promise you it ain't gonna do that but get better. So make sure you guys tune in to roughdraftradio.com with DJ Khaaliq and also DJ Hassan Thomas, and I am Bazz. That's right here at Rough Draft Radio. Make sure you guys, get in tune with us. I'm sitting here with DJ Hassan Thomas, DJ Khaaliq, and we're just doing our thing. We were just listening to a little bit of the mix. And DJ Khaaliq, can you explain more what's going on with this mix?
All right, so I Live Mix is a series I started about roughly, 2-3 years ago. So I Live Mix, I started recording my mixes live. I've been doing that since around 2010 maybe. So I have a catalog of mixes that I record live. So when I take them, I put them in the Logic and I light them up, and then I add some little things, correct some little problems, and I'll send them out. But it's called DJ Khaaliq I Live Mix. This mix we listening to is I Live Mix number 14, Couples Only. So,
okay. Couples only, huh?
But it's not. So couples only make you initially think that it's just only about, couples. But what it's really about is a couple little, sexy songs in there for the couples. It's other songs in there that is, it's duos, like an R&B, hip-hop duos. Those are couples too. You know what I'm saying? And then it's got like hip-hop fusion where they mix the R&B and all that. So it was a lot. And you got to take into consideration these mixes were recorded live with a crowd. I'm playing to the crowd, and I'm keeping the crowd happy. So they some of them is it don't fit all the way into the title of the song, but it stays there. So this is DJ Khaaliq I Live Mix number 14. And it's called Couples Only.
Couples Only on it. So you know what? Let's just get into it right now. I mean, we appreciate you guys listening and checking us out. Once again, I want to thank DJ Hassan Thomas and, of course, the man of the hour, DJ Khaaliq. And make sure you guys tune in for the next 5 weeks as we count down all his mixtapes that he's been working hard on and getting into. And we're getting more to it about him, about the other business that we do. We're even going to have some football topics. We're going to have some uplifting topics, because there's so much stuff that's going on in the world. We want to be positive. We want to make sure that, we do stuff for our community that's showing the good side, because when you watch the news, all you see is the bad side. And also, if you want to do a podcast, make sure you guys, drop a note to my man DJ Khaaliq about it. We're going to be doing podcasts. If you need media done, make sure you guys check out MPAC Media. Log on to the website, once again, roughdraftradio.com, and here it is, Couples Only by DJ Khaaliq.